Hi there, it's Carl Irwin, the Common Magician, and I've got something interesting to show to you. I've got a deck of cards here, can be shuffled up. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to dribble through the cards, and I want you to look at the faces as they go by, and I want you to think of one that stands out to you, one that kind of sticks in your mind as you're looking through the cards. So we'll dribble these real quick. And you've got one in your mind and you're thinking about it. Now, there's no way I could know what in the world you're thinking about, right? It's a completely free and fair selection, but you have it in your head. You're thinking about that card. And what I want you to do is I just want you to kind of meditate on it for a moment and picture every facet of it in your mind, every little detail, because it's going to be important that you remember this card for later. Which card were you thinking about inside the deck? The Queen of Diamonds. Well, it couldn't be the Queen of Diamonds. I keep that one. I keep that one in my pocket, so it can't be that one. I don't keep that one in the deck. Now, this is may or may not have worked for you. I don't know, but this is a very, very quick discussion on Annemann, 202 Methods of Forcing, and this is one out of the book. I've seen this before, much later, in one of the old Danny Garcia projects. It's a sort of visual, it's not a force, but it's more like an investment in probability and likelihood, which, you know, we like investments in probability on this channel, but it is a sort of observation that you make along with the spectator in the probability that you make the same observation. The way it works is you are to dribble the cards, and as you go, there'll be a moment when there's a stutter or a slight stop, and a card stands out among others, right? So you just want to dribble at a relatively even pace, and then the moment when there's a stutter, the idea is that that is the one card that is identified from the dribble, that the rest of it is too much of a blur, you really can't see it. Now, obviously, there's other ways to do this with a short card where you can force a specific card in a riffle, right? Riffle type force. There's ways to do that, of course. But this is a little bit more organic and natural with just a regular deck without preparation, without stepping a card. It's not really a force. It isn't really a force because you can't guarantee, or rather our goal is not to guarantee a specific card. It's just really to note the probability of the most likely candidate being thought about. So the way this was taught, I remember from Garcia, was that he had a way of dribbling the cards where you would get to a point where it would almost want to reverse and one card would catch. I don't think that's necessary at all, not for the use that I'm talking about. And I'll talk about what you do if it doesn't hit here in a minute. But you just dribble evenly, and once you get a stutter, I don't think it's good to try to make a stop. You just want to note the one that you see. The moment that it stops, and as Annemann discusses in the book, once you see that likely candidate, Annemann says you just want to get rid of all the rest of the cards and drop them. I think you just want to increase your speed and get the cards out of the way. I don't think it's good necessarily to go and stop and then drop. But you're just noting what is the one that you note, right? Jack of clubs on that one. And I don't know, you have a frame rate going on here. This may not be hitting for you. I don't know what you see. But again, it is an investment in probability. Let me try this again, see if we can come across with the same kind of perception here. So I dribble the cards, and I saw Queen of Clubs on that one. I saw 8 of Clubs on that one. 3 of Spades on that one. So I don't know. I don't know what you're seeing, and again, it's just an investment in probability. And then once you know what it is, or once you think you know what it is, you can get it out of the deck and do something with it, and give a kind of quick slap to the face sort of revelation once they name it, if they hit it right. If it's not a hit, it's a simple matter of just shifting to a named card effect, right? You're just making a big deal out of the fact that they are making a free choice without being forced upon, right? They can just think of any card out of the dribble. And I think the idea with this is that, maybe I built it up a little bit much here on the video in my presentation, but I think in reality, you don't really build it up. right? You just get to the point. You say, I want you to just think of a card that stands out to you, right? They go, you get the one, you know what it is. You say you could have thought of any card, get the thing out of the deck. Animan talks about just keeping a break and controlling it. I don't know if you can try to do that if you want to, but I think it puts a little too much heat on the moment. It seems to me that once you know the potential of what it could be, that you have all the time in the world to go back and opportunity to get it out, because there's no reason why you should know. Anyway, you remove it, and then immediately have them name the card that they're thinking of, and if it's a hit, you use it. If it's not a hit, it turns into a named card effect. They say, you're going for the Queen of Diamonds, and they say the Three of Hearts. You say, great, let's find the Three of Hearts here. Here's the Three of Hearts, and what we're going to do with the Three of Hearts is we're going to place it, and you go on, and you do some kind of alternative presentation. But these investments in probability can really make for killer outcomes when they do hit. Now, one thing I would add to the discussion is you don't necessarily need to use this sort of situation. You can invest in a similar kind of probability even from a spread. Now, I don't think you want to spread an entire deck of cards, but you might take a group. You might just thumb off maybe the top 6 or 7 cards, spread them out and say, I just want a free selection. Go ahead and think of one that stands out to you. And let me do this the other way. Take a group of cards, right? Turn them over, and then what we're going to do is fan them so you can see. Just think of a card that stands out to you, and of course you would have much closer proximity to this, and then I would go with that one. I would go with the King of Hearts, and then I would just be prepared to pull that one out and have my revelation ready. And if they name something other than the King of Hearts, then again you go on to a thought of card, a thought of choice, named card effect, right? They name a card and then you take that card out and you do something with it. Or, as I've discussed on a previous video a while back, you now have a slug where you know that the card is in there, right? Once they name the card, you now have some control. You know that it's in that packet. You know approximately where it's at. You could thumb these cards off, thumb off the first 7 or 8 cards, and then you can turn it over. You could do any other kind of shuffle, right? Just retain that bottom stock. And then you can do a face-up shuffle call, right? If I'm shuffling this way, overhand shuffling, I'm thumbing down, and I have opportunity now to get their card and get it into control in a very nonchalant way from something that they named. I say, we just want to mix this up. You could cop it out, give them the cards. In fact, why don't I let you mix it up? Well, I have control of the card now, so there's opportunity there. So investing in probability that they identify with the same thing that you do for the same psychological reasons. So in this case, with a visibility stutter, right? So you can practice this and just try it on people. 6 of Hearts on that one. 9 of Hearts on that one. I don't know. That was too quick. Sometimes if you goes through and there's nothing that's obvious, you say, maybe that was too quick. Don't ask them if it was too quick. Just discount it. Say, maybe that was too quick. Let me do it again and make sure that you can just identify with one thing. Ace of Spades on that one was an obvious hit. It kind of stuttered and then fell down. So just try to have some control over the moment, and whatever seems obvious to you is likely to be an obvious choice for them given the premise and the circumstances. So investment and probability in that way. That's all I've got for you. Just a little thing from Animan's 202 Methods of Forcing. A force perhaps unknown. Not really force, but closely related. So good luck with that. Happy magicking.